Portugal is one of the top places in the world to live, especially for retirees. What is it exactly about Portugal that makes it so tough to beat when you're considering the options the whole globe over for reinventing your life? It checks just about every box on the would-be expats list, whether you are coming with a family, enjoying retirement, looking for a digital nomad location, or any other reason that you'd like to spend some more time in Europe or overseas in general. So here are the top 10 reasons that Portugal is hands down one of the best locations in the world to set up your new life overseas. Number one, great weather, especially in the Algarve region, which is in the south. Now, the entire country has a pretty temperate, mild 4 seasons. In the north, you might notice a little bit chillier temperatures or more precipitation. In the south, yeah, things might get a little chillier, but there's never really a true winter. Even in the north, you wouldn't call it a winter like you probably would think of from back home, unless you're from the south. But this region, the Algarve region, specifically gets 3,300 or more hours of sunshine per year. That's more than 300 days per year of sunshine. It's more days than almost anywhere else in Europe. And as a result, the Algarve has a long-standing reputation as a top summer destination among European travelers, sun seekers, and also European retirees. It's the top winter retreat for those looking to escape Northern Europe's coldest months. So you'll definitely see an uptick in Europeans here over the winter months, especially. January and February might get a little cold enough that you'll want a little jacket, not necessarily a parka or a big coat. The best months are usually September and October, when the summer crowds have gone, but the weather and the sea temperature are still much warmer. Number two, safety. Portugal ranks as the safest country in the world nearly every year. So it's always been in the top 10 for as long as I've been looking at and traveling to this country. So more than 15 years now, it's always been in the top 10. It might shift a couple places or, per year. But for 2026, it was named 7th safest country in the world by the Global Peace Index. And it's recognized globally for its really peaceful way of life. It's also one of the top destinations for LGBTQ plus travelers or residents, and generally is one of the more easygoing countries in Europe. Number three is good infrastructure. So Portugal and the Algarve have enjoyed important infrastructure investments in recent years, specifically to do with the country's highway network and airports. So as a result, this is a very easy place to get to, whether you're coming from Europe or North America. And it's also a great base for exploring the rest of Europe, Northern Africa, even farther east if you'd like to go. Number four is the international standard healthcare, which is available for free to residents or a very low cost, even if you're not a full-time resident. So as a result, medical tourism here is fantastic. It's a big growing industry, especially in the south, where people like to enjoy the nice sunny warm weather after their operations or procedures. And, it's definitely becoming a destination for people seeking particular cosmetic procedures, hip replacements, and dental specialties. So great thing to know about the healthcare there. 5, golf. The Algarve region alone boasts more than 40 courses in less than 100 square miles and is recognized as a top golfing destination in continental Europe and in the world. And this is notable because golf isn't super popular here in Europe, so it can be kind of hard to find those courses, and usually they're set up by Brits, part of closed gated communities or golfing resorts. So it's notable that this is a place that just the average Joe can come down and enjoy some gorgeous scenery while having a nice game of golf. Number 6, great beaches. The Algarve's 100 miles of Atlantic coastline are punctuated by jagged rock formations, lagoons, extensive sandy beaches, and many are awarded the coveted blue flags from the European Blue Flag Association. That means that they are very safe, very accessible for those with handicaps or disabilities, very environmentally friendly, very clean, and provide some amenities to the people visiting them. The water off these shores is gorgeous. It is blue and dazzling. But it is a little bit chilly here. This is the Atlantic, not the Mediterranean, so keep that in mind. And so it will be the warmest in the Algarve along that southern coast, but keep in mind, the further north you go, the chillier things get. The beaches are still gorgeous. You're still going to love the views that you have of the coastlines, and no matter where you are in the country, but you might not necessarily get too deep into the water if you're in the north. Most beaches have lifeguards during the summer season, and many have restaurants and little snack bars, but they're usually only open open seasonally. So keep that in mind if you're living there full time. So before I tell you about the cost of living and just how affordable this wonderful country can be, along with the other final 3 reasons that you should be looking at Portugal, I just want to tell you quickly about our Live and Invest in Portugal manual. This is a new handbook that we've created that will give you the full scoop on living in Portugal and investing in Portugal. I have been spending time there since 2015 or so, and I knew after the first visit this was a very special place, a place that I wanted to spend as much time in as I could. And in those years, I and the rest of the staff at Live and Invest Overseas have gained insights, met every kind of service provider that you really need to help you set up your life there. So it's with the help of all of those experts and expats and other local friends that I've made along the way that has helped us to create this new resource, the Live and Invest in Portugal manual. This is chock full of insights and intel that you can't get anywhere else. A virtual tour of the best places to live in this country as a foreigner, quick and easy to digest lessons on the country's history, geography, economy, climate, your best options for finding a job or working for yourself locally. We'll showcase some home listings and we'll show you how to find the right property to buy or rent. Better yet, we'll give you all of the facts that you need to know, including about tax rates, fees, and the entire buying process step by step. It is different than in North America. We'll hold your hand as we show you the steps to getting a visa, including all of your different options and the documents that you would need to make that happen. Health class here is world class and free for residents. We'll show you how to get access to that. And if you're a retiree, I've included a special chapter for seniors, the best locations and tax incentives and visas, etc. In addition to all that information, I'll arm you with the contact information of our top experts in Portugal who are all on standby to help you. You'll find all of this and a lot more in our 2026 Live and Invest in Portugal manual. You can click on that link to learn more. Number 7, the affordable cost of living. Cost of living is, of course, number 1 on most Americans' minds, whether you're looking ahead to retirement and worried about what that timeline looks like, or whether you're already retired and wondering how much your fixed budget might stretch for the rest of your life. You know, there are so many reasons to be concerned about cost of living today, especially with all the inflation going on right now. And it's worth noting that Portugal has one of the lowest costs of living in Western Europe. On average, about 30% less than the major countries like France or Germany. So it can be very affordable to live here. A couple could, for example, live modestly but comfortably on a budget of as little as, say, 1,800 euros a month. That's euros, not dollars. But with a budget of 2,000 or more, you could enjoy a pretty well-appointed lifestyle in the heart of the old world. And of course, budgets are very personalized. You can live as cheaply or as expensively as you want almost anywhere in the world. The local minimum wage here is 1,200 euros or less per month. So you know that locals are able to live on that much, and you just need to tap into those local insights to make sure that you're not overpaying as foreigners sometimes do. All right, number 8, English is very widely spoken with a super high level of fluency. Living here, you could absolutely get by without learning how to speak Portuguese. Though, of course, I would always recommend that you do make an effort at least. Any effort is appreciated, especially in Portugal. You might be welcomed a little bit more enthusiastically if you make a little bit of an effort at speaking Portuguese. Again, locals are very patient and helpful and very happy to work with you as you muddle your way through this new language. All right, number 9 is healthy living. The Portuguese are the biggest fish eaters per capita in Europe. So fish is a big part of the lifestyle here, whether it's on your plate or, you're seeing it being brought in from the little boats on the shore, whether you're passing the seafood markets, of which there are many. So fresh fish is available every day. It is ever present. You're really not going to get away with it. In fact, if you don't enjoy fish, this might not be a great location for you because it will appear on most menus. The abundance of sunshine in this part of the world also means an abundance of fresh produce that is all organic, locally grown. Usually the markets are bringing food in from farms within a couple miles of the city, and it's available at a very low cost in those local markets as well. Meantime, the pollution rates are very low. The air quality is great. The streets and the towns and beaches are all kept clean and litter-free. So this feels like one of the healthiest places to live in the world. Plus, in many of these cities, you might want to go car-free, which means that you're walking more, getting outside more, and generally a little bit less sedentary here in Europe. You're walking around, walking to the market, it walking to the cafe or the bakery instead of getting in your car every time. And number 10, finally, user-friendly residence options, because so many people make these lists of fantastic places to live or retire overseas, but they can't actually feasibly do it. New Zealand, Australia, they rank very high on these lists, but no American is getting a visa unless they're spending a good few million for it in either one of those countries. So this is one of the least sexy parts of moving overseas, but definitely one of the most important things to know right off the bat. Are you going to be allowed to live there locally? And in Portugal, the answer is a resounding yes. Basically, all you have to do is prove that you make a certain amount of income, which is incredibly low, especially for Europe. The base income could be as low as 1,200 euros per month. If you can show 2,000 or more, you will almost surely be greenlit into the country. If you're working in one of those smaller budgets, it might take longer for them to approve your visa, and they may not approve it at all if they don't deem that you're making enough money to support yourself. But that is the legal minimum requirement, 1,200 euros. Again, the more you can show, the more guaranteed your application is to be accepted. And, many countries do offer residency programs based on guaranteed income. However, these typically target foreign retirees and come with age restrictions. So even if they are affordable, which many of them are not, many of them require more than 3,000 per month, which many retirees can't prove. But even if there is a reasonable amount that you can prove, you have to be a certain age in order to avail of it, which is not the case here in Portugal. So anybody who can prove their income and meet the requirement is granted pretty much immediate residency, a 1-year temporary permit in the beginning that you can then renew for several years and then seek permanent residency. It is one of the easiest residency hurdles in all of Europe, and indeed probably one of the easiest in the entire world. So there you have it, 10 reasons why Portugal should be at the top of your list if you're considering a new life overseas. And remember, to learn more about Portugal, you should really take a look at our Live and Invest in Portugal manual. This is a handbook that will give you the full scoop, the insider insights on living and investing in this wonderful country. It is chock full of everything that you can't get anywhere else on it. The country, its history, its culture, real estate, healthcare, making friends, taxes and residency, and lots more. And in addition to all that information, all of the contact information that you would need for top experts and service providers in Portugal to help you get started on your journey here. We are all standing by to help. You will find all of this and more in our Live and Invest in Portugal manual. I urge you to take a quick look at that link right now. Happy trails.